Hi, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. Come on in.
Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 69 of the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. I'm your host, Leslie, and this episode will be known as It's All Josh's Fault. We're going to start a little different on the show today. I want everybody to go get a drink. If it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you just went out and ran, go get you some water. If it's 9 o'clock in the evening and you like to partake of a little vino here and there, go get you some wine. Just go get something to drink. It doesn't matter what it is. Pause, I'll wait, and then just come back and I'll tell you what's going on. Okay, so here is the deal. Obviously, this is my Zombie Knitpocalypse wrap-up. And I know I'm going to say some things fairly often, and I wanted to make a little game out of it. So we are going to do a little drinking game with this episode of the Knitting Game. So if I say the following words, take a drink. Fantastic. Awesome, wonderful, amazing, zombie, Knitpocalypse, Minnesota, or Rochester. Alright, you got that? It's in the show notes, so if you go to myordinaryjourney.com, look at the show notes for the show, and you'll get your list of keywords, okay? Alright, are you ready? Starting now. This is from here on out. If I say any of those words, take a swig. So, I mentioned myordinaryjourney.com. Okay, so that's where you can find the show notes, like I said. The show notes have in there links for Ravelry, Twitter, Pinterest, Plurk, Google+, and Instagram, my new favorite buddy. So we also have a link to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff Ravelry group, and I would like to welcome some of my newest members. Or the group's newest members. They're not my members. They're the group's members. So we have Dead Frog 13 Liz, Dawn's Delight, Dawn, A Free Spirit, Ginger, Rose Bob, Rose, and Caw Shirley, Carolyn. So happy podcast, everybody. Thank you for joining the group, and I hope you enjoyed the show. All right? So we also have some birthdays this week. We have quite a few. We have Debbie7158, and that's Debbie. Java Jenny, Jenny. Fran in Lakewood, Fran. And Dead Frog 13, Liz. What a great week to join, Liz. So you get a hello and a happy birthday. Yay! And if I sound a little stuffy, I caught the plane crud on the plane ride home from Rochester, Minnesota, from the Zombie Knitpocalypse. Alright, got your drinks in? So yeah, I caught the crud and I gave it to my husband, and he's got the sore throat today. So it's just like this head thing, and I was miserable last night. I was snoring. I never snore except when I'm congested and sick. So I woke my husband up the night before snoring, and then last night I had the worst heartburn ever. And I ran out of like Tums and stuff. I had to come down at like 2 in the morning to do baking soda and water. Not the most pleasant thing in the world, but at least I was able to get back to sleep. Alright, so some shout outs and announcements. The Fredericksburg area podcaster Sittin' Knit. I haven't had a chance to talk to Courtney, aka Stitches Please, but even if she's not going to be there, I am planning to. So if you are in the area, you want to join us here in Fredericksburg, the Barnes & Noble in what we affectionately call Central Park. It's a big shopping strip mall extravaganza. We'll be in the Barnes & Noble in the Starbucks area knitting away. So that'll be Thursday night at, I want to say 7. Maybe 6:30. If you get there at 7 and it was starting at 6:30, we'll already be there. So plan on 7. I'll just go whenever I get there. So I need to see her. So I haven't seen Courtney since she got married, and I'm kind of like, oh, I need my stitches, please. And now she's as cute as a button with a little baby bump. It's awesome. So anyway, hi Courtney. Alright, so on the list of the next events in my life, fiber related, because the retreat was so amazing, is Spin Quest. It's a spinning adventure retreat. It's on August 24th in Front Royal, Virginia, and there's going to be classes from, I'm going to call her Renowned, because I feel like she's, you know, a knitting celebrity, a fiber celebrity, and that's Melissa Yoder Ricks from Wild Hair Fiber Studios. Yeah, I'd love to learn how to spin the art yarn like she's got. So that is on my calendar. Alright, so here we go. Now I'm going to get into the retreat reminiscing. So here we go. Alright, so I have goodie bag. So we got this goodie bag and I put it away. I don't know where I stuck it. It's one of those like green, it was a green, zombie green knitting bag that says Zombie Knitpocalypse. The zombies are knitting retreat. Awesome, right? So it was full of goodies. So some of the goodies, oh, here it is. Haha, I found it. It was in my other bag. So here's the bag. And if you guys have watched Megan and Amy's like enabling episode that they just put up yesterday, this is the bag that we all got. Oh, you know what I forgot to put on? It's my lanyard. And we got badges. And yes, we needed our stinking badges. So they went out. Can you see that? Let me show you. They went out and they got everybody's Ravatar and they put them on the badges. How awesome is that? Because of course that's how everybody knows everybody. You know, by our Rav names and by our Ravatar. So there's my badge and my bag. And some of the things we got in our bag is this is a little mini skein keychain from Daisy Knits. We got lots of goodies, like sample goodies. So a little sample from Neighborhood Fiber Company. Awesome. I already have some of her yarn, so I've got a coupon code on here. I'm going to go buy more. Definitely buy more. This is what Megan and Amy dubbed the Mega Mini Skein. And this is Sun Valley Fibers in a wonderful zombie purple. Ooh, this is 716 Knits. This is a little sample of the 716 sock. The colorway was for the retreat. If the apocalypse comes, beep me. So it's the Zombie Knitpocalypse exclusive colorway, and that's a little mini skein. I'm really into the mini skein things lately. Then we've got, oh, I got stitch markers. I don't know where, oh, here they are. They were hiding. So Absolute Wonder did these little stitch markers, and they're green and purple. And if you can see right there, there's the little zombie head. Is that just not the cutest thing? I'm trying to hold it still. There we go. So I love stitch markers. So cute as a button. And then we've got just a variety of like coupon codes. We got, let's see, Josh from Geometrics. His shawl, you got off of a shawl pattern, you got like 15% off. Mel from Meltran Design, 50% off. Oh, and that's, let me see, in other stuff, stash. I need to talk about my patterns. So, so we got a bunch of coupon codes, some of the local shops and things like that. So the Starbucks gave us a percentage off with our badges, and just Rochester is really neat, and I'll get into that in a minute, but it was a really nice place to be. Let's just say that. All right. So I'm going to show you, everybody got a door prize, and some lucky folks got two, because the sponsors for the retreat were amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. They gave, if you haven't watched Amy and Megan's episode from the other night where they showed you like everything, not even everything, because they didn't have the stuff from the marketplace vendors that were bringing things to them at the retreat. So like my prize you guys didn't see on the episode because it came from Spartacus Dyes. So here is my door prize. This is, like I said, Spartacus Dyes. It is the Will and Grace sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's about 400 yards, and it's Sally from the Tim Burton series. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this. So they're pulling names from the name bucket. If everybody got their name, if they had a badge, they had their name in the bucket. And the ladies, they were just pulling random stuff. You know, they kind of had a method to their madness, I think. But, I mean, it was just 2 huge plastic bins full of goodies. So they pull this out, and they read the name. You know, they give you who the dyer is. They read the name of the colorway. They give you the name of the base and things like that. So as soon as Sally from the Tim Burton series leaves her mouth, I turn to my friend sitting next to me, and I say, oh my gosh, my daughter would love that. Nightmare Before Christmas is her favorite movie. Absolutely her favorite movie. And no sooner did I say my daughter would love that they called my name. So this is now my yarn, and it is so squishy and fantastic and soft and yummy. I am going to design a pattern to go with this yarn based on the Nightmare Before Christmas for my daughter, because that's how I do. Just saying. I want to do that for her because yay. Alright, so that was my door prize. Alright, so the day-to-day shenanigans. Okay, first of all, I took the shuttle from Minneapolis down to Rochester, and I was supposed to take it with a few other knitters. The thing is I came into a completely different terminal. When I usually fly into Minneapolis, I fly into the Terminal 1, because that's where Delta, formerly Northwest, usually, you know, flies into, and that's who we flew with. Well, I flew Southwest this time, and they're in Terminal 2. So when I got there, I had to go over to ground transportation and call them and say, hey, can you come pick me up? And I was the first one on the little bus thing, on the little van. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, I don't want to ask everybody that's coming on, hey, are you, you know, going to the Zombie Knitpocalypse? So I said, well, the easiest way to find another knitter is to knit. So, of course, I've got my knitting out and I'm going to town. All right. So the ladies get on the bus, and it was, I know Cindy, and it was Cindy and her sister. And Cindy and her sister have another sister, and their niece was going to be there too. So Cindy goes, are you Pixie Knits? And I'm like, I am. So of course we had a blast on the way down there. So that was my first encounter. I thought I would find more people at the airport. No, that was my first encounter with a fellow zombie. So that was fun. So we get there on Thursday, and I walk into the hotel, and I go to check in, and a couple of my friends from Virginia that had gotten there the day before, they were in the lobby already, and that was pretty cool because I ran into somebody immediately that I knew. But then you look off to the left, and there was the ballroom, and I saw Amy standing in the doorway, and I was so starstruck. I'm like, I cannot believe I am 50 yards away from Amy. I am 50 yards away. And I was so shy. I was like, oh my gosh. You know? So I checked in, and then my friends took me in, and Megan was checking people in for the retreat. So, oh my goodness, she is just a wonderful little ball of energy, and I think I got a hug. I can't remember. I was just so, like, starstruck at this moment. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually meeting a stockinette zombie. I was like, oh my gosh. So we get checked in, I go and I dump all of my stuff upstairs. I knew who my roommate was. We had already decided to be roommates, and we'd met in the past, so I was trying to find Beagle Mom Knitter, because she was my roomie, and figure out where she was and everything. So we go into this grand ballroom, and we're sitting and we're knitting and chit-chatting, and there was this podcaster. It was supposed to be how to be a podcaster, but Kelly, Sheep Dreamer, she couldn't make it, so that was going to be her class. So I heard it was going to be a panel discussion, which on the plane ride over there, I thought, wow, wouldn't it be awesome if, you know, the podcasters all got together and we did like a panel discussion? You know, make it like a real, you know, legit conference, right? So I figured I would just go and sneak into the back and just listen to what everybody else has to say, right? So I get in there and I said, I'm all the way in the back, and Megan sees me and she's like, come here. So I was up on the panel, and I was on the panel, oh my gosh, with everybody. So it was Megan, me, Josh, oh my gosh, Amanda from Elizabeth Quinton Designs, Knitting in the Sun. Bunny Fish was next to me, and a couple others. I mean, it was just kind of like podcaster royalty. I mean, just saying. Not myself, but it was really neat to be up there. And it was really good. It was an awesome forum because people got to ask us questions. And we got to, you know, as a group, talk, you know, face to face with people and in real time. And it was a really neat setting. So hopefully next year that actually gets worked into the schedule, because I would love to do that again. I thought it was really amazing. So that was the podcaster panel. Some of the classes I took Jenna Rachel Lemon's Owl Puff class, which was really fun. She likes to say but a lot. And that's a whole other story. I also took Josh's class, which it was funny because I originally, when I saw it on the Confessions of a Shawl Knitter, I just thought he was going to present all of his shawls and talk about like just why he likes to do them. But it was really more in depth than that, and he was very informative. I learned a lot in both of the classes, tips and tricks, but it was really nice because it was small classes and you had really a lot of one-on-one time to ask. It was a very free flow forum type thing, so you could ask questions and get them answers and get feedback and, you know, talk about things, not just shawls, but like the design process. What do you think about? How do you go about picking colors and textures, and, you know, how do you design and things like that. So it was very informative and wonderful stuff. So getting into some of the funnier moments of the retreat. Again, we're all sitting in the big ballroom, and Jenna comes up, Miss Richard Lemon, and she's like, I found this awesome store, Scrub Your Butt. Scrub Your Butt is the name of the store. Now let me tell you a little something. Rochester is where the Mayo Clinic is, and it's centered around patient recovery, not just care, but getting better. It's a very holistic approach. So the hospital is connected to like every other building downtown through a series of subterranean tunnels and skyways. So you can get pretty much anywhere you want to go in Rochester, either above or below ground. I mean, it's really wonderful. So if you go underground, they call it the subway there, there's like shops, and it's really interesting because one shop will be like a chocolate store, then you'll have a drugstore, then you'll have like this high-end boutique with silk scarves, or you'll have one of the stores that really caught my eye, that I thought it was great, that it was just there, it wasn't hiding in secret. It was a store for women who have had mastectomies, and it was a prosthetic store for clothing, so they could buy clothing and feel like a whole person again, and it's just right there, right out there. So, there's no beating about it. Yeah, there's sick people there, but you know what? They're getting on with their lives and they're doing what they need to do. I thought that was awesome. So Jenna comes up and she's like, oh my gosh, there's this awesome place called Scrub Your Butt. You may be asking, what is Scrub Your Butt? Well, it is this little kitschy little store. It's got like gifts and things, but everything in there is made by like Etsy sellers. So small, independent sellers of jewelry, knit items, soaps, the scrub part, right? Scrub your butt, soaps, and, handmade things like that. So I don't know if you watched Jenna's episode before the retreat, but she was talking about how she got this shipment from Wolf Farms, and it was of cupcake scented like lip balm and stuff. So she's all about the cake and the cupcake. So she picked up this cupcake or cake batter. It's a sugar soap body scrub. So it's not just a sugar scrub, but it's actually soap. So of course we all make a beeline down there, my little group that we were knitting, because we wanted to go see what Scrub Your Butt's about. And I picked up this from Bungalow Bath and Body. It's the vanilla bean scent. And I'm sure if you Google Bungalow Bath and Body, this is the whipped sugar scrub. And oh my gosh, I've been using this stuff. It is amazing. It really is. And I smell like a vanilla bean right now. It's great. So we went right down there, and I picked some of this stuff up. So that is Scrub Your Butt. Then, okay, so Friday, ooh, the weather in Rochester was very interesting. It was slightly humid. It was warmer than I had expected. And then they had thunderstorms every morning and every night. It was the freakiest thing. So Friday morning at 5:30, I had earplugs in, and I wake up to this beeping noise. Come to find out, our smoke detector had run out of battery in the middle of the night. So Beagle Mom Knitter had been up since 2:30 listening to beep, beep. I had earplugs in, so I didn't hear it until the thunder and the lightning woke me up at 5:30. Well, we were both going to run the 5K Friday morning, and we looked out and saw what was going on, and we decided, you know what, they're not going to run the 5K. So we turned off our alarms, we went back to bed. I wake up at about 7:20, go to the bathroom, and I go grab my phone to see if my husband had emailed or texted me for the morning yet. And I thought, oh, you know what, let me check the message board to see if anybody posted anything. Sure enough, Megan was out there putting out the signs for where to go, and Amy was taking the volunteers out. So I go, Angela, we gotta get up, we gotta go. So, I mean, we hit the ground running. We were down there, we were 20 minutes late, but we did. We went and we started and we got going. And we only did one lap, but they've multiplied our time times 2. And we got, I guess I should take this off. We got our little 5K wooden metal medallion things, and everybody got to come across the finish line with a little tape. It was great. The volunteers were out there in the rain and the thunder, because it was still going on, and I think that may have spurred us on to go a little faster than we probably would have. Yeah, so that was interesting to be dodging lightning bolts while running around. So that was fun. And then later that night, a group of us go out for a bar crawl. So we go to the first bar, and I have a hard cider. And then I think, you know what, let me try this beer. So I get a beer, and I try to like beer, I just don't. I don't like it. So I'm going to stick with hard cider. But so we had 2 drinks at the first bar, and then we go to the second bar. And we sit down, and I get another cider, and there was this house specialty drink made with in-house spiced tequila. And Stacy Knits, she ordered one of these drinks, and it came in a martini glass, and there was so much extra it came in a juice glass. Well, I'm feeling pretty good after 3 drinks, right? So I said, she wasn't too pleased with it, and I'm like, well, let me have the little juice glass. And I down it like I thought it was like gonna be like juice, right? So I kind of down it, and there was this little spicy kick. And Megan is sitting across from me, and she says, you realize that was all alcohol, right? I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was mixed with juice. No, it was 100% alcohol. There was all sorts of stuff in it. So I was feeling really good after that. And then Stacey, she didn't really want the drink because it just wasn't doing it for her. I don't think it was too spicy. It was too sweet for her. So she wanted the waitress to take away the martini glass one. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'll drink that too. So, yeah. And the next morning, Saturday, it was the marketplace. Everybody asked me, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling okay? I'm like, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great. You know, I'm like really good to go. And I was. There was no hangover. There was no headache. There was no lethargy. Nothing. I was absolutely fabulous. So, my roomie, Beagle Mom Knitter, runs up to me because she had already left. I slept in a little bit on Saturday, so she was already in line. And let me tell you folks, it looked like some Black Friday deal. We were all in line in front, stretched out in front of the hotel desk. I don't think people realized how serious of marketplace shoppers we were going to be. But she runs up, and she hands me, oops, a bag from my bag fairy. So I got my Peace Love knit bag for the marketplace, which came in so handy. So that was a nice surprise. And then there was a lot of knitting and a lot of buying of stuff, and I still haven't told my husband that I spent more on yarn at the marketplace than I did on the actual hotel. Yeah, he doesn't know that yet. So, alright, so that was kind of like the recap. Now I'm going to move on to the actual knitting game part of the knitting game and other stuff. So just like I did for Maryland Sheep and Wool, I split up my purchases into 4 general piles of stuff. And it's yarn, bags, and fiber, some of it. And yeah, so I have 4 packages that you guys will get to vote on what you want to see next week. You already saw my door prize, so I kind of didn't leave you guys hanging with that, so that'll be good. Alright, so here are the 4 packages that you guys get to vote on. So you vote on which one you want to see next week. You can vote as much as you want and as often as you'd like. And whoever the winner is, that's who I'll show. Alright, so your first choice is And the Man. The next one is Wicked Awesome Petrified Hamsters. The next one is Tropical Witch. And the last one is Skanky Zombie Ho. Alright, so you got And the Man, Wicked Awesome Petrified Hamsters, Tropical Witch, and Skanky Zombie Ho. Those are the 4. Alright, so let's see. There was some knitting going on this weekend, and I have an update for the Vittoria, which was a past winner on the knitting game. So the last time you guys saw the Vittoria, I was down at that stitch marker. See? Way down here. Yep, I got some knitting done. Not only at the retreat there, but also on the plane ride home. So I think I did good. I am about halfway done now. I have 3 or 4 more rows until I hit exactly midway. So I'm cranking out and made good progress here. So that is my Vittoria. So that is a knitting game update. Yay. Alright. don't forget to vote. I'll do the winner next week. Alright, so moving on to some other works in progress. I do have a hoe this week. Not only did I get to work on the Vittorio, but I finished my first of the 2 Bainbridge Island socks. They're anklets. And I did a little bit more of a rounded heel. I kind of flubbed it up a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. If somebody's looking at my heel that close, we've got a problem to begin with. But what I did do is I dropped down to size, the body of the foot and the ankle were knit on size 2s. I knit the heel on size 0s to get a little bit more sturdy fabric. So, and it fits really well. It is a nice little trouser anklet. I'm going to be happy to wear these. And this is Cascade hand paints. So I finished this one, and then the night before the end of the retreat, I cast on the toe, just the first couple of rows, so I had the other one to work on the plane. Yeah, on the plane. I'm almost ready to put in the afterthought heel. I have about 3 or 4 more rows, and then I can put my afterthought heel in. And not too long from now, I'll be at the cuff. So that reminds me, these socks have been on the needles for over a year now. I'm currently doing a knit along, so if you have an old pair of socks that you've had on the needles, even if they're not that old, if they were cast on before the 1st of June, they're eligible. Whatever your oldest socks on the needles are, finish them, and I'm going to change it to the end of July. You have the end of July, so 2 months. 2 months to finish your pair of socks, the ones that have been languishing there on the needles. So you finish your socks, right? And that's 1 entry. Then, if you go back and you pull out your oldest sock yarn that's been in your stash forever and do another pair of socks with those, by the end of July, you get a 2nd entry. So that's 2. Finish your old socks, start a new pair with your old yarn, and finish those. And you get 2 entries into the knit along. I don't know what you're going to win, but you'll win something. So those were my Bainbridge Island socks. I also worked a smidge on my Rocky Coast. I'm in the middle of a row right now. And you can see I got about 4 rows done. So not a huge amount, but I did take it with me and I did work on it. So that's good. So I feel like I made a lot of progress with that, even though it's 4 rounds. Alright, so those are the 3 things that I worked on. And then I do have a finished object. I finished my hitchhiker. And I was determined to finish this so I would have it for retreat wear. So I finished this Thursday night at 11 o'clock. I was sitting in bed and I was going to get all 42 points. So I do. I have 42 points. This is Cascade sateen. It is a sport weight, so it's a little bit bigger than what the pattern calls for. The pattern calls for a fingering weight on a size 2 or 3, I believe. I knit this on a sport weight on a size 4, and it came out amazing. This is not blocked. I did not block this. This is just how it is. It is what it is. The one thing I did do is here on the bind off edge. Since I knit it on a size 4 and I wanted everything to kind of lay flat, I didn't want any puckering on the bind off, I went up 2 needle sizes to size 6, and I used a size 6 to bind off with, and I think that was a very good choice. It is a beautiful, very clean bind off, and I'm telling you, I had a blast. Now, Mr. Josh, from Sort of a Knitter, he gave a tip on how to wear like a shawl or a scarf. He said, don't worry about how you put it on. Just fling it around. Don't fuss with it too much. Just let it be how it is. And I kind of like that advice, so I'm just going to let it be how it is. So I have a finished object. So It doesn't really count to my knit to zero because I kind of cast it on in secret and hid it for a while, but it only took me a month, really. So this was amazing. So I do have 3 projects that are still in timeout. The Downton Abbey gauntlets, the Don't Cage Me in socks. And I have the project, but I haven't even started on it, which is Jason's first sweater is now my Sierra, or Syrah. Yeah. So I've got that. But I do have some stash I'm going to show you. Alright, so you know how I showed you the little sample of the Apocalypse Comes Beat Me? I bought a big honkin' skein of it. So, if the Apocalypse Comes Beat Me by 716 Knits, it is so pretty. It's got the zombie green and purple and kind of like some hot pink flecks. I really fell in love with her yarn. And it comes with a little stitch marker. It's absolutely fabulous stuff. So, yay. Bought a big skein of that. And then I had 2 little mini skeins that I got in the mini skein swap. So this is from Cindy Lou. She was the Cindy that's the funny part. Skein swap, I put in 2 skeins and I got a Cindy Lou, who I rode the Rochester Shuttle direct thing with. And then Knitting Mary B, who has been a member of the group and watched the podcast for like ever. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to message her and Rob, come find me so we can talk and say hi. So I got 2 mini skeins. Then I got some stitch markers from 716 Knit, but they're mystery stitch markers, so I haven't even looked. So I'm going to do the reveal here on the show. So hopefully I can do the reveal on the show. Oh, it would help if you knew how to. You slide it open. Oh, look at these. It's a little rose and little pink ones with the little beads. Oh, that's so neat. And they come in a little, I was trying to lift the lid. No, it slides. A little slide tin. So hopefully you can see the beads in there. And they were 16 stitch markers in there. So those are stitch markers. Alright, so that's all for knitting. So spinning, I've done some spinning. I figured I did a lot of knitting over the weekend, so I've been doing some spinning. Now, not all of this I've done in the last 2 days, but this is Into the World. It is the club fiber from April. It is Sensa. I'm trying to spin it pretty fine because I want to do a Navajo ply with it because I'm really enjoying doing that. And here's what it looks like. It's blues and browns, so pretty stuff. So that's what I've been spinning, and I did while I was away in Rochester for the retreat. I got the June Club, which is the End of Innocence. It's very floral, very regal and royal colors. It's reds and purples, oranges, blue, and greens. And it is a 50-50 merino silk blend. So, that was a lot. Oh, I didn't show you the patterns I got. You know what? I'll wait. I'll share those next show, because this one's kind of long. And I still have to go to work. I hope you enjoyed the recap. You know, everybody's going to be doing one this week, and I think that's absolutely amazing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed mine. I hope you guys, if you're partaking of adult beverages for the first ever knitting game, drinking game, I hope you're not too. If so, put down the knitting, because you probably made mistakes already. So, I hope you have a fantastic week, that it's awesome, that you think all this stuff was wonderful and amazing, that you have not turned into a zombie, that the Knitpocalypse has not rendered you speechless, that if you're in Minnesota or Rochester, you're having a good time. And let me tell you, Corey from iRockNets, Minnesota, that's right. Alright, I hope you guys have a great week. Don't forget to vote, and have a great time. Bye.
Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring. What will sister bring? Conjure my black the daydreams could keep you away. No moon grass, no sunburn, no talk of doomsday. Funny it seems the ways of these days. Scars cover me, start to need the pain. Yeah. Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring. What will sister bring?
Now for some Cards Against Humanity.
I think it's the same as you in the pool. Well, I gotta finish this row.